This thing's super slow. Oh, it's what I was telling Brandon. It's so much slower than what we have.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I was just listening to see if our funeral music was still playing. I'll call this meeting to order. This is the Madison County Board of Education meeting for March the 10th. Thank you all for coming. I'm Lori Cobb, our chair this year. Mr. Rutherford, would you read our vision for us?
Sure. Madison County Schools, in partnership with the community, strives to equip educators and students with the skills to lead by example, develop and speak with a unique voice, and explore their academic curiosity to make a positive impact on our community and world.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And next up, we have our showcase tonight, and I believe we have Waco Elementary with us. Mr. Neely's
Got a
got
good
some
looking
information.
group over there waiting to entertain us. Waco Elementary's STLP team is made up of 4th and 5th grade students. The group meets once a week after school for an hour. This year, the Waco STLP team will be presenting 2 projects at the STLP state competition next month, along with competing in the Drone Challenge, Kentucky Cinemania Challenge, and the AI On Demand Challenge. Tonight, the team will be showing you a preview of their presentations for their 2 projects titled Sight Word Superstars and Catching Some Z's. Waco music teacher and STLP coach, Miss Kimberly Evans, will get the students started.
Miss Evans couldn't be here with us tonight. My name is Becky Maupin. I'm the Family Resource Director at Waco Elementary. The after-school program is awesome for my job because it fits into my core curriculum. So I'm going to have our first student come on up. There's always technical difficulties.
Waco STLP presenting Sightword Superstars. The Sightword Superstars have been helping kindergarteners learn their sight words.
Why are sight words so important? Sight words are simple, everyday words that encounter frequently. Recognizing them quickly helps young readers build confidence and fluency in their reading journey.
Mastering sight words can significantly improve reading fluency, allowing children to focus on understanding the story rather than decoding individual words, enchanting their overall comprehension.
Reading faster. Did you know that knowing sight words help children read faster and better? With practice, they can recognize these words instantly, creating a smoother reading experience.
The Buddy System. Buddy pairing. Each STLP student is paired with a kindergarten to enhance their sight word learning. Building friendship. Buddies develop strong friendships as they team up for fun learning activities together. Helping buddies improve. Together, buddies work diligently to improve their sight word skills and boost confidence. We have been going to the kindergartner classrooms once or twice a week. Using a paper tracker, we record our buddies' ability to read their sight words. Then we copy the data onto a spreadsheet to help us track our data. We have used various self-created activities and games when working with our buddies. These tools have helped our buddies stay engaged and have fun learning their sight words.
Here is an example of their paper tracking scale or system.
We have we
Can you hear me? Okay. We have been learning to we have been awarding our buddies when they have mastered their sight words with the 3D printed prize. All of the sight word buddies have been received a prize, and we are working on creating the B sight word prize. We've been trying to create a ring with the letter B on it, but we've had some hiccups on the design, but we think we finally have it right.
At the beginning of the year, we were able to go to our buddies twice a week. Unfortunately, we had to stop going in December due to working on our Christmas play. Since returning from winter break, we have had a little trouble getting back in the groove, especially with missing 2 weeks of school due to a winter snowstorm. This is something we are looking at to improve for next year and see if there is other times that we could work with our buddies instead of just once first thing in the morning.
We have really enjoyed working with our buddies this year. Based on our data and observations, we feel like our buddies have made some great growth on their sight words.
Thank you for listening.
I have to say, they've done an awesome job. They presented themselves well. They have worked hard, and they are a group that likes to listen and participate. Next will be our sleep squad.
The goal for the sleep squad is to educate our peers on the value of 9 to 12 hours of sleep and the effects of sleep to the physical health, along with the value of sleep to the mental. It's 9 o'clock at night. We have people on their phones drinking caffeine, and we actually have someone asleep, which is pretty good.
Your bed is the best place to sleep. You should only use your bed for sleep. Dimming the lights in your room helps create a restful sleep. Avoid eating large meals or snacks before bed. Your phone should be turned on sleep mode 30 minutes before bed.
Make sure your bedroom is at a comfortable temperature. Relax before bed with a warm bath or shower. Other ideas before going to bed include reading or listening to relaxing music. Going to bed at the same time every night can help the mind and body release a healthy sleep. Children ages 6 to 12 years old need 9 to 12 hours of sleep each night. Our bodies cannot catch up on missed sleep. Wake up, it's time for school. The mental benefits of sleep. It allows students to balance their emotions, helps to keep students fuller, enhances a student's memory and focus. The physical benefits of sleep. Sleep helps you think more clearly, have quicker reflexes, fight off infection, maintain a healthy weight, and helps avoid heart disease.
We are Waco DLP and the Sleep Squad, and we are catching some thieves.
It is important to maintain It is important to go to bed at the same time every night as much as you can and wake up at the same time in the morning as much as you can.
It's important that our classmates get 9 to 12 hours of sleep each night. Our bodies will not be able to catch up on all the missed sleep that you miss.
Me and Kenley made a game on Blooket for kids to learn how to learn about Sleep Smart in a fun way. It helps kids learn, but in a fun way, and get to interact with other classmates. And it's fun for them to compete and learn how to use life skills to learn.
Some of the questions that we decided to put on is how many hours you should get each of sleep you should get each night. The answer was 9 to 12.
And after they do the booklet, they will take a little survey quiz on how much sleep they get every night. And then we will use the data from that to see if our peers or classmates are getting enough sleep.
There's actually a sleep curriculum out there called Sleep Smart. These two girls did create a game, so there are questions. Our goal next week is to show the video. We will do a needs assessment, or basically a pre-test, and then we will do a post-test to see if those students understood the material that was shared. Thank you all so much.
Thank you guys very much. That's very cool.
Superstars.
Yeah, superstar. I think you guys need to share your sleep stuff with the adults.
Yeah, we need, thank you all for those sleep information.
I said 9 to 12.
Do we want to stand up behind them?
Yes.
Hi, yes, good. Thank you for coming. All right, let's stand up.
You guys stand up.
Come on over. There you go.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, good job. Thank you all. Nice job. Thank you all. Nice job, guys.
Good job, guys.
Was that was him sleeping in the chair, wasn't it?
Very cool.
Yeah. Go right ahead.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
Thank you.
Yeah, we need the sleep
Good job on the
website.
speakers.
Yeah.
We could hear them.
It's good. 9 to 12 hours. Lord.
Don't I wish?
Yeah.
Wish I could get
What
9.
about 4.5?
Yeah.
Do you get that?
We're doing
No.
this.
I know. She said 9 to 12. I was like, I'm wrong.
I'm in
I
trouble.
saw those like 4th and 5th
Yeah, I
graders
go to sleep with a phone up here.
with phones. And I'm
Or
like,
you accidentally post
what are those 4th and 5th graders doing?
I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
All right, let's get moving on here if you guys don't mind. Next up, we were supposed to do our recognition for Mike's kids. Okay, thank you. But she's sick tonight, so she was unable to be here. So let's move on to audience comments. Do we have anything? Nothing, Ms. Tammy. Next up, we'll move on to our consent agenda. And just for those of you who may not be familiar, these are items that we see on a regular basis, month to month. And we review these and look over them before our meeting tonight, along with everything on this agenda. So these are things that we've seen, and we've had the ability to ask any questions that we may have. So here are all the items that make up this month's consent agenda. The minutes of the February 12th, 2026 meeting, claims, superintendent's personnel actions, leaves of absence, technology surplus, and then the following out-of-state field trips. Madison Central Winter Guard trip to Dayton, Ohio, April the 9th through the 11th. Madison Southern Band trip to Pigeon Forge on April 25th. Madison Southern Junior ROTC trip to Dayton, Ohio, April the 2nd. Madison Southern Junior ROTC trip to Whitesburg, Tennessee, June the 2nd through the 6th. Madison Middle All A Rewards trip to Mason, Ohio, Kings Island, on May 22nd. The Ignite North FBLA trip to Mason, Ohio, Kings Island, on May the 8th. And the Fairstown Middle School trip to Pigeon Forge on May the 19th. Declare our maintenance surplus, approve the KET's second offer of assistance, and approve the 3 shortened school day applications. Are there any questions on our consent agenda items? None? All right, may I get a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Ms. Burford. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we have our monthly reports, and we'll start with Miss Amy Carmichael, who is our Frisky director and our food service director. She's wearing two hats, and she's here for our instruction report. Welcome. Glad to see you.
Good to see you all.
Yeah,
A little bit different tonight, having me up here to do the instruction report. But Mr. Ray and I have been talking about all the things that go on year round, and we talked about how the behind the scenes also very much put into our education of our children. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about how Frisk works into that and how it does directly impact instruction for students. As you know, March is Children's Champions Month, and Frisks are directly involved with Be a Children's Champion and teaching our students to be good role models, look for good role models. And in education, we do the same. We talk about teaching the whole child. And the whole child includes making sure that they're supported, challenged, healthy, engaged, and safe. And so at the school level, there's many people that are invested in doing that, teachers and principals, of course. And then we also have all the other people that are helping to get the day taken care of. Our bus drivers that get them safely to school, our food service employees that feed them and get them ready to learn. And then what happens after that? And so in looking at that, we think about the kids coming in and they're ready to learn. They've got their books, they've got their technology, but what about the things we can't see? So think about if you've ever had a chipped tooth. If you have a chipped tooth, you can't really concentrate. You're sitting there and you're running your tongue across that chipped tooth and you think, what am I going to do? How am I going to eat? When am I going to go to the dentist? How am I going to get to the dentist? Those are things that we can't see that affect our students when they're sitting in their seats. They may look fine, they may act fine, but they may have something hidden that we can't see. Same with if you've ever had a pair of shoes that are too tight or blister. We can't see those blisters, but man, it's hard to change classes on a high school campus if you've got a blister and you're trying to maneuver and get to class fast and not be tardy. So our Frisk personnel take care of those things along with all of the community partners that help them take care of those things. And I wanted to share with you some of that data that we have from just this school year. We talk about when we engage and support students, what that looks like in a learning perspective, but we also think about what that looks like in a relationship perspective. Frisks are all about relationships and making contacts. And so when we do our measurement of data, we measure that in contacts. How many parents we contact, how many students we contact, and that contact looks different in lots of places. It could be out in the car rider line talking to a parent about hope to see you at family fun night tonight, or with a student in the hallway, glad that you're here today. We're excited that you're here. How are you doing? And so those contacts happen everywhere. They happen all over schools. They happen, at Walmart. They happen at the library. They happen outside at football games or basketball games. And so those contacts are how we measure the services that we're providing. And so we have thus far, our Frisks have made 96,836 contacts with parents and students in this school year. And so I'm going to show you on the next slide how we do that. In individual interventions are academic support, after school care and child care, attendance and basic needs. And we do them in unduplicated contacts, meaning one time we saw a student, so we're marking that contact if we gave them a toothbrush or toothpaste. And then we also may see that student again in 2 weeks and say, oh, you need some shoes. Let's get you some shoes. So that would be a duplicated contact. The same with parents. Every time we reach out to them or interact with them or have them participate in a program, we count that as a contact. And so individual interventions for individual students, these are our rough numbers right now for duplicated and unduplicated contacts. And then for group programs, that involves our health services, mental health services, parenting classes, parenting skills, family support, family literacy, any prevention activities, and Frisk-sponsored clubs. Every time that Ms. Maupin works with the STLP program, she's making contacts with those students and parents. Yes, she's making a relationship with all those students on something that's very academic, but she's also building those relationships so that she can take care of them outside the academics, so that the whole child can be taken care of and be successful learners. And so these numbers are a little bit larger, of course, because it's a group. And keep in mind that these are based on the number of times that that group would meet as well. And so that those numbers, 9,000 students, 9,726 students participate in our group programs. And the parents, of course, would have to give permission or help us participate. And then the duplication, you can see our students are participating. 32,152 students have participated in one or more of those groups that we provide in our FRISCs. So in thinking of this, I wanted to give you prime examples of how it affects directly parents, because sometimes people say, well, how do you affect the parents? Kids get to school and they do what they need to do. Well, we partner with 3 different dental agencies to provide dental services in our district. And this is one of the most recent examples I can give for how it directly affects the student, the school, and the parent. Big Smiles visited our campus at Madison Middle on Friday, February 25th, and as well as March 2nd. So they came 2 times and they served 22 students. Those students, she broke this down and she said 10 students had no dental needs or concerns. 2 students were determined to need additional treatments. And then 10 students were referred to other providers. Sealants were applied to 14 students and 10 students received restorative care on site. So 27 total cavities were treated. And from these 2 visits, 46.2 missed school days were saved, because those students did not have to go make appointments, have an initial exam, and then make another appointment and go back. And so we're thankful for these partnerships, because not only does it affect our students and how they feel and their ability to learn, it helps our teachers have them in class to teach them. And then it also helps the parents not to miss work and have to take off work. And so these are the reasons why we continue to provide these services and hope that all of our families take part in those services. A second example is some kindergarten readiness data that we have come across. All of our family resource centers provide an early learning program. They all are mandated to do so, and they all do them in different ways. They partner with multiple community agencies. This example is from Kingston. She has a very intentional work based around the families and training component that we have for FRISC, preschool child care partnerships, and the family literacy programming that she provides as a school as a whole. And so she works really hard to collaborate with the other schools on the end of the county in Berea. And she has noticed that 42% of her current kindergarten students entered school kindergarten ready, according to the Brigance. And that's huge when you think about coming in and being ready for school and knowing that you're going to be asked, what letter is this? What number is this? What color is this? And so those are the things that they are doing to get our students ready. It's also a good time to get relationships built with parents so that they know the expectation of school and they know what to expect when they do get to school. They've already built a relationship with someone in the school, so if they have questions about other random things like your bus routes or what is PTO, those things come up. And so our FRISCs are ready and available to answer the questions or help when there's another need. So I just wanted to share that with you tonight and give you just some insight on what we're doing. We will continue to keep doing as long as we can. We're ready for spring, and we're already planning for summer because we are year round. So any questions for me about FRISC?
I think the service y'all provide is out of this world. I mean, it's just,
they work very hard.
Such a need, and just invaluable. Absolutely invaluable. And I know that you guys love these kids like your own.
Oh, yes.
I've seen it.
Oh, yeah. They all are definitely part of the family, and we do appreciate the support that the board and Mr. Neal always give us as a program, because there are times that we need the support, and we're just going to keep going until we can't keep going anymore.
Well, we have, it's easy to help good people, and the Waco folks mentioned the 2 weeks that we were out.
Mhm.
The problem was it was 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
Which was about 15 days that they were not in the school building, which are 15 days that some of them may not have a hot meal. So, we got together and was talking about it here, and Ms. Carmichael came in and I said, what do you think? I think let's try to feed these kids, because I'm afraid that they're hungry from what the conversation that I overheard at the dollar store. 2 days later, we fed, I can't remember how many kids,
It's about 1,100.
1,100 kids on a Friday that she set up. Totally gave her the assignment. It's done. And that's just the type of person she is. And all the folks that she works at our Frisky group is fantastic around the county. And Miss Moppin right there, she stepped in, and you could tell how much she cared about the kids that she services. So, the things that you don't hear about, the silent pains that kids, high schoolers aren't going to tell us their shoes are too small.
Right.
That's the last thing they're going to talk about.
And our youth service centers at both high schools do an excellent job in taking care of the needs of those students,
Absolutely.
even when that's probably the hardest group to take care of.
Yeah. And the kindergarten piece is big, because, I saw something on social media just not too long ago. Kindergarten back in the 90s, it was half a day. So 2 hours of that half a day you spent putting your stuff away and going to the restroom and standing in a straight line. And then you'd have a milk break, and then you'd play, go back there and play in sand or do whatever. And then it's time to go home. And heck, now we're testing and doing this and trying to put them in groups.
Well, and our dental services start at preschool too and go
Yeah.
all the way up to high school.
That's
So
good.
we're constantly trying to make sure that our kids are ready to learn and utilizing all the resources that we have and hoping that it helps to make a difference.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Well, and we're appreciative before you leave that you help out in the summertime too, because that's a lot of times that people forget about. Do you mind telling us just real quick, just a few things people watching that maybe you might do in the summer?
For FRISC, each school is going to do individual programming in collaboration with outside agencies. I know that our early childhood programs with all of the elementary schools will continue. That would be maybe music time or Mommy to Me or book buddies. There's a lot. So I would just encourage parents to check on their school website. In the world of food service, we will be doing summer feeding. And so those sites will be announced as well. And that's open to any student in the county. It doesn't matter what school they go to, 18 and under. And that's free to everybody as well. So,
Which is incredible.
yes.
Thank you.
I just attended family night, I guess it was.
Mhm.
And it was very, very interesting to watch how everybody just came together. It was put your phone in a box, and they had games and stuff on the table. And everybody was having conversations. It was really very good to be at and watch, and then the different booths that was set up for people to look at. So I enjoyed it a lot. It made me think about what you all were doing.
We always will have any suggestions how to make things better, and anything that you all want us to do, we'll be more than happy to try.
Yeah.
I
I think you
will-
did a great job.
Thank you.
I will give just a real quick, people who have kids that are growing out of their clothes or shoes and they're really good shape, our Frisky people will love to have those to redistribute to other kids that need them. And even old, adult size, because our high schools can really use those.
Mhm.
So if you have good clothes, shoes, jackets, coats, you can take it to any Frisky and they'll be happy to take it. And even if it's not their size, they'll find another Frisky that will take it.
That's right.
And that's really a core component to our Frisky people, is trying to keep these kids clothed and not be embarrassed about having to wear the same thing over and over each day.
Especially khakis. And
Yes, anything.
Madison Middle sweatshirts or Clark bars. Or
Yeah.
Rowley.
I have taken all kinds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tubs.
And
of
we
them.
appreciate it. Thank you all.
Well, I do too. I appreciate being able to get it out of my house.
Thank you.
Thank
All right. Thank you so much. Next up, we have our construction report. Mr. Jonathan Smith is here with Branscombe Construction. He's got a few updates for us, I think. How are you
Doing any
today?
dental work up there?
No, but you- I think something going on. Just a quick, I always start off Madison Middle, but things are pretty well wrapping up there. Actually, tomorrow, Chris, our superintendent's meeting with the folks from the city of Richmond to get the final on all the buildings down at Sports Field. So that is all electrical, plumbing, HVAC. We doesn't have finals on it. you're all taking possession of the track and all the fields next week. So all of that's wrapping up and pretty well complete. We got a few little odds and ends just to do, but pretty much everything else sports field wise that was still lingering, weather kind of cooperated. We've got all that completed. So that part of it will be complete. Like I say, tomorrow we should have the final on all those buildings at Madison Middle. So moving on to Waco, give you some updates on Waco. A lot of masonry going on at Waco. You can see there they're laying another one of the classroom wings and hallways there. A lot of block being laid over the last. I mean, we've had rain and the cold weather, but we're still continuing through it. And a lot of folks out there working. They've been, I think, the last 2 weekends they've worked out at Waco. They worked Saturday and trying to get caught up from some of that cold weather that we had that kind of froze us out for a couple of weeks. But they're making nice progress there. This is there in the foreground's one of the restrooms off one of those wings. The media center is to the right. You can see kind of in the back of the picture, that's the gym. You can see part of that steel is being set on the gym. And over to the left, I'll show you here. This is the final section of slab that's got to be completed. This is the kitchen dining area. So there's a lot of underground. They're getting all that complete, and that should be poured next week, barring any weather that holds us up. But that'll be the last section of slab on grade that'll be poured. Everything else is poured all over the building. This is inside the gym. They're taking that masonry all the way up. We had to get that main girder and those main columns set. They've set a few joists, hold everything in place as we bring the rest of the walls up on the gym. So those are coming along nicely inside the gym. This overall shot there in the front, that's the storm shelter wing. That'll be one of the last wings that we start masonry on. But you can see that back classroom wing, it's pretty well laid up. The one to the left, they're starting on it. The media center there in the middle, and then the gym is to the right. So a lot of blocks been laid, still a lot of block to lay, but hopefully now we've got out of this cold, wet. We'll still have some rain, but we can keep working. So progressing really nice there. That's just kind of an overhead shot there of Waco. You can kind of see all the different areas. All the geothermal is complete now. Those wells are in. Everything's tied in. They're making the connection back to the building. So those are getting wrapped up. And of course, geothermal is a messy job. So hopefully a little dry weather will get some of the site cleaned up around there. But things are progressing real well at Waco. Any questions on Waco?
Looks nice.
This is the geothermal at Southern and Foley. This is the pit where everything comes in, connect. This was actually last Thursday, but the vault's actually set in this pit now, and they're actually backfilling now. This is just this last Thursday when this picture was taken, or actually Friday. But we will have water on to the section of Southern Foley, this first phase, by the end of the week. So they will get that. We're waiting on a couple of units to come in. Provided they come in, we'll have water on, and that first phase, we will have those units complete. But you can see all those wells are in. They're all complete, tied in. Once they get the pit and everything done, they'll start getting all this cleaned up. It's just through the winter doing this, it's just a mess. And they've done a good job containing it. We meet with the principals at Southern and Foley like every 2 weeks. And we met just a couple of weeks ago, and I don't think there's been one complaint. I mean, they know we're there, but it's not really any complaints from folks. I think they're glad to see the work being completed there. So, but those wells are done. When they leave here, they will move to Whitehall and start drilling at Whitehall.
The heat far outweighs the complaining.
Yes. Foley and Southern, as you can see there, all the main piping is run on this first phase. Most all the ductwork's complete. They have the electrical ready to set units. The units actually shipped yesterday. We're just waiting on confirmation for this area. We have some of the units for some of the other part of the building, but a few of these units got delayed in shipment, and they should be here hopefully the next few days. They will get this set. We're going to start on phase 2 next week, start getting some of the demo done on it. But coming along really good. You can see a lot of the duct work. We're going to leave ceilings out of this area so we can go ahead and get them moved back in here and get them through the end of the year. And then when summer comes in, we're going to go back in there and put the ceilings in the classrooms. We'll have All the lights will be wired up securely. Everything will be tied up above head. We just won't have any ceilings in these rooms till they're out for school. We'll go back in there and put ceilings in. We had to get a little creative on the main runs of piping. Oh, if you've imagined an older building, everything above head, there was all kinds of stuff up there. This is actually through the bathrooms. We got the mechanical contractor. We moved inside the bathroom where we had more headroom, and we run this main piping along the side of the hallway instead of going down through the middle of the hallway just to get it in. So, but they got that completed and all that main piping's run and tied in. That's your chill water loop to run your geothermal. You can see the ductwork. Some of that new ductwork is in. That's getting completed in some of those shop spaces. You can see there that new electrical panels where everything's getting tied in. They'll make all those connections, final connections to the units once those are set. So those are coming around really well. This is one of the big rooms there at Southern. I can see all that ductwork's in. It's insulated, ready to just set a unit, turn them on. So we will have heating and cooling in those units. Any questions on Southern Forward? And then Whitehall, you have it later in agenda. We had the bid opening today here in the boardroom, and you have that later. If those are approved, we will start construction in May at Whitehall for those packages. Okay. Any questions?
Have anything for Mr. Smith?
All right.
Thank you so much. Mr. Tony Thomas. Clark Felton and Samapar, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you this evening? Great to see you. The sun was out, so the trees are blooming and the flowers are coming up at the Day Treatment Center, former Madison Middle. You go inside, they've also got a lot of work done, so they're really moving fast on getting the walls up. This is where you walk in from the stairwell in the very front. You'll be in the vestibule. The reception would be on the side there. That's from the other side, looking where the reception will sit. So they're just about ready for paint there and dropping ceilings. This is another shot of that area. I'm sorry, this is going upstairs. That's one of the classroom areas upstairs. So that's going to be a nice big classroom there. So they're moving along. Some of the HVAC equipment has already made it. So we're past the lead time on that. So it's not very often that we get those things earlier than we expect, but they've already installed some. So that project's going along good. The cafeteria building, of course, just gets the fire alarm, and they really haven't even started on that yet. And I believe I've duplicated that shot. But so that's it for the Day Treatment Center at the Madison Middle. Any questions on that facility? If not, just a reminder that, of course, the athletics at Clark Moores are continuing to go back behind the building, and then the light poles are up, and the grass is getting greener now, and that you're coming out of the ice. You know, and this is a lot of work that Madison County is doing, but we assisted on the dugouts that you can see there, and some of the athletic lighting is in, and that's the dugouts. They're just about wrapped up. That's a front-facing part of the dugout there. Of course, some of the grade is going to be come up now that the brought up to the floor level now that the weather's getting better. So just thought I'd throw that in there to let you know that the Clark Moores dugouts are coming along as well. Plus that whole athletic area back there. You got football, softball, and baseball. So it's coming along. Waco, of course, I don't want to repeat too much of what Jonathan said, but of course, the gym there with the steel, there's a shot inside of there. Good progress since we've come out of the ice, some new concrete poured, and that's the storm shelter area he was referring to, and just a good shot of where some of the classroom block is going up there as well. So Waco's coming along good, lots of materials on site. So as long as they keep the good weather, should be plenty of material right there for them to install. He touched on Foley and Foley and Madison Southern. Pretty much the same report. They're doing a good job of protecting things. Ductwork's going in. HVAC equipment should be on site soon. A lot of the mechanical piping has been done. So good progress. Whitehall, as he mentioned, bid today, and we'll be around for some recommendations for the acceptance of bids a little later. So,
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Smith or Mr. Thomas? All right. Thank you so much.
thank you.
Next, we have Mr. Mark Woods, our CFO. Talk numbers to us. How are you?
How are you all?
Good.
All right, we will get started with our bank rec. So as of February 28th, the district ended with a reconciled balance of $131,422,333.51. You see that's actually down as compared to this time last year. We have a lot of projects. Last year, we had a lot of bonding come in. So now we're spending that bond money down and taking care of all of our projects. Of the reconciled balance, the district has $45,500,000 in investments. Those rates range from 3.228 to 3.85. The funds consist of local CDs and treasury yields. So the rates have kind of been all over the place. They took a big dip, come back up just a little bit. We've had a couple of CDs that matured. We're still okay to hold those. So I put them out for a little while longer, renegotiate the rate a little bit. Told them we need to get just a little bit higher. So we got just a little bit more out of those. In addition, the board had the balance sheet and the revenue and expense report for February. Everything's tracking from what I can see right where we're expecting it to be. We've had a few big expenditures hit us, but we're fine other than that.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Woods? All right. May I get a motion to approve the monthly financial reports as presented? So moved. Do a motion by Ms. Brock and a second by Ms. Coyle. All in favor? Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Woods. Next on our agenda is let's talk about student accident insurance. We have Joe and John, I guess, Joe, to talk to us. How are you all?
Great. Thank you so much for having me again.
Yeah, good.
Jonathan, it hurts when you say Southern's an older school because it was the new school when I was growing up. So that took me back a little bit. But thank you once again for allowing me to be here tonight. Student accident insurance, looking at your data, we're averaging about 160 claims per year. Spiking in 2022 when you had 200 claims that year. As we lay out that data, 30% of those claims are football. The second largest driver of claims is non-athletic, which is 22%. But when we cross that across the state, usually non-athletic are 45%, 40%. So the fact that it's just 22% is a really good number. Just says proper supervision, people aren't acting up too much. That number is so low is a good sign. Basketball 15, baseball 9, soccer 8, cheers 5. Talked to Coach Feldhouse, but all in all, the numbers look pretty good. The policy that we have covers all students. I noticed that there were a lot of field trips that were approved earlier. Once the trip becomes board approved, that means it's school sponsored, school supervised, which means we are now going to respond to a claim. So those field trip claims, they would be covered now. And when we do look at the claims data, even though we're having 150, 160 per year, we do have access to a lot of different markets. So this year we shopped your account with Hartford, which is the renewal, Zurich, as well as Axis. The reason why we like these three companies is that they use K&K insurance. K&K, that's who my dad originally started doing student insurance with. What they do is they identify your top providers and negotiate with them. And we have saved since 2020, Madison County Schools, $1.6 million in PPO network discounts, which is savings to you all, which allows us to keep our prices flat. So that's the reason why we prefer to use K&K insurance is for those networks. As you can see, the numbers came back. Zurich was the best option, $246,260, about a 1% increase from expiring. Zurich was $265,000, Axis $258,000. So even though there is a slight increase, it is tied to healthcare, and most healthcare is going up more than 1. So we feel like we would recommend Hartford, and we feel like they're offering a very competitive renewal.
Can you talk about the how many times they can go to see a trainer if they have an accident?
Yes. So your policy, it covers 100% usual and customary charges. The only cap is on physical therapy, which you all cap at $1,000 or about 10 visits. Of course, if there's primary insurance, that would pay first. If there's no primary, we step in and become primary.
Okay.
The reason why we provide that cap, we could always go up. It would cost more, but your losses would also increase. And in return, your premiums could potentially go up.
Right. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions? No? All right, so we are looking at renewing with Hartford, $246,260.75, which is a savings of about 12.5 to 19 over the other two quotes.
Correct.
Is that right? Okay. May I get a motion to continue the purchase of our student accident insurance as presented?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Ms. Brock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all. Greatly
Thank you.
appreciate you all.
We
Thank you.
appreciate it. Everybody buckle in for the next one. So now we're going to talk about the bid opening. I think Jonathan mentioned it earlier for the HVAC project at Whitehall, which is basically putting in the geothermal there. This is our third school, I think.
Yes.
County Building Center.
Mhm.
Our third school where we're having to replace those LG systems that we've all complained so much about. So Branscombe held the bid opening today. Before I start reading all this, does anybody have any questions for Jonathan or anybody? Okay. So basically they bid out the different trades for this particular project at Whitehall. So let me read through these and we'll go from there. So our motion is to award the following bid package for the Whitehall Elementary HVAC renovation geothermal project. Bid package number 30, which was for general trades, to Branscombe Construction for the base bid of $827,888. Bid package number 91 for ACT, which is acoustical tiles, to Elaine Allen for the base bid of $158,000. Bid package number 150, HVAC and plumbing, to Fry, is that Fry? Is that how you say that? Fry Plumbing for the base bid of $3,950,000. Bid package 153 for fire protection system to Central Kentucky Sprinkler for $173,700. Bid package number 160 for electrical to Blue Sky Electric for the base bid of $455,544. And bid package 165 for the classroom sound enhancement, which was rejected, and we will rebid that one. Those bids were too high. And thank you to Mr. Clark for helping and with Jonathan for keeping good eyes on that. So the total bid package for this project is $5,433, $5,433,588. You guys know what I mean. All right. Any questions? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve everything I just said?
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Coyle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. So Jonathan mentioned earlier, this project will start in May. So that will be good to get those HVAC systems replaced and under control at Whitehall. Next up on the agenda is to set our graduation dates. Everybody's ears perk up. We are looking to set the graduation date for Friday, May 22nd at 7 p.m. for Madison Central, and Saturday, May 23rd at 10 a.m. for Madison Southern at EKU.
Correct.
Any questions? No? All right. May I get a motion to set these graduation dates for May 22nd for Central and May 23rd for Southern?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Burford. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Ms. Brock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. Next, we have to approve our Paxton Patterson PO. This is the CTE programs that we put in them. We have them in a couple of middle schools. We have ranted and raved about these. Mr. Clark and his team were able to get some grant funding to provide these in our remaining middle schools. So this is a motion to approve the Paxton Patterson purchase in the amount of $336,000 for Madison Middle, Ferristown, and Clark Moore. And just a reminder, these funds will be from the grant that we received for these labs.
That's right.
I'm very excited about this. These labs are incredible, and I'm glad to see them going in every one of our middle schools. Anybody have any questions? May I get a motion to approve everything I just said?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Ms. Coyle. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Ms. Burford. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have our Holston Gases purchase order. This is a purchase order for some supplies for our welding classes out at Ignite North. This will be used with our Perkins CTE supplemental funds. Do we have any questions on this? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the Holston Gases purchase for Ignite North Welding in the amount of $38,500?
So move.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Ms. Brock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have to approve some emergency substitute to approve the emergency substitute certification. This is the Education Professional Standards Board requires us to do this every year for substitute teachers that have a high school diploma and or college credits or equivalent, but do not have a teaching certificate. You say anything about that?
No, they're just substitute teachers. Let's
Just
do it each year.
Meeting our requirements.
Yep.
Anybody have any questions? All right. May I get a motion to approve the emergency substitute certification for our substitute teachers for the 26-27 school year?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Coyle. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second by Mr. Rutherford. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next, we need to create and ratify an MSD teacher position at Kit Carson Elementary for the 26-27 school year. Any questions? And this is due to student population,
That's
obviously.
correct. Yes.
May I get a motion to create and ratify an MSD, I cannot talk tonight, MSD teacher position at Kit Carson for the 26-27 school year?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Brock. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Burford. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, in conjunction with that MSD teacher position, we need to create 2 MSD paraeducator positions. This would be also for Kit Carson for the 26-27 school year. Any questions? All right, may I get a motion to create and ratify 2 MSD paraeducator positions at Kit Carson for 26-27 school year?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford and a second by Mrs. Coyle. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we need to discuss and create and ratify a chief of police position. Mr. Neely, do you want to
Yeah, we'll just
elaborate
talk a little bit and
on
elaborate on it.
what
Yeah,
we're
this
talking
is,
about here?
this has been in discussion for quite a while. Have been banning about probably for the last 4 or 5 years as far as the police force for our own school, Madison County schools. So we really got down to the meat and potatoes on the money on what it would cost, how it would benefit compared to what we currently have in our schools. We met early December and I gave you all some initial numbers, what it would look like, how it affects, who it will affect. And looking at all of those things, we do think that that this would benefit all of our schools, our community, students, everybody involved in the Madison County school system to have our own police force. And with that, you would need a chief of police, somebody that would be in charge of these policemen that will be in all of our buildings. So that is what we're starting. We're going to hopefully get this out, if approved, to see the level of interest on folks that would like to be the chief of police. And that would be who would, every policeman in our building would report to the chief, not the principal. That's kind of where we would like, the principal has, but they got plenty to do. And they don't need to be in charge of the police and this, that, and the other at every building. They've got plenty of things that they can do. So by having a chief, that's who they would report to, and the chief would make sure that every policeman on our grounds, and we'd have a policeman on every campus, would report to them, would streamline things very a lot better. So
The principal would still know.
that's correct. Absolutely.
And the chief would give them professional development and stuff like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, there are requirements, and we'll elaborate on that as we go forward for every SRO, a school resource officer, to be on our campuses. So they would have to have trainings, they would have to do all that, and the chief would be responsible for making that happen. Yep. Very exciting times, I think, for Madison County. I'll brag on the board and the folks before me on laying the foundation of being financially responsible, because most counties, when they come up with their own police force, they want to be able to raise taxes to make it work. We don't have to do that here in Madison County just because of the ground that had been laid for the last several years. We're in a good spot where we don't have to do that. We have the money available. And I think for the safety and security of all our folks in Madison County, it would be a win for everybody.
And I think too, it's also worth saying that our current SROs and these partnerships that we have with our local law enforcement is phenomenal.
Yes.
We have got the best people this county has working with us right now.
Right.
And this is 99% an economic decision.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And I've talked to each entity, every chief that's involved, that we're doing this. They're totally behind it because of what happens. It makes the county safe, I believe. They can get some of their workforce back and not going out to the schools because we'll have somebody there to handle it. I think it's a win for everybody.
Mm-hmm. And we should tell everybody we've done our due diligence in
Yes.
talking to other school systems that already have this in place.
Yes.
And
Yes, Montgomery, Laurel, Clark, Pulaski, we have wore them out, asking them questions, actually bringing their people in, discussing, having long conversations with what works, what doesn't work, how would they do it over, what they like. And, it's all of them have been incredibly positive about having their own force within their own school system.
And we've all agreed, we'll either do it right or we won't do it at all.
That's right. Yes.
And we've all
that's-
had a sit down one at a time,
Yes.
going over the numbers, the advantages, disadvantages,
Yes.
and all agree that we're doing the best thing for the students.
I think it'll slimline our process with our SROs in our schools by having one person in charge instead of the three chiefs, because all three departments, they're all fabulous. They are all great, but they all have their own standard operating procedures. And this will get all of them. We'll have one standard operating procedure for all our SROs, and it'll make everything more streamlined, as well as the economical advantage.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's a good thing.
but if we need extra police, like an athletic event,
Oh,
graduation.
they all are
things,
aware that we
They
yes.
we will still use
Yeah.
them. Yes.
I think the plan is to still maintain those
partnerships.
partnerships and memorandums.
Because they have been excellent for
Fantastic.
us so
Yes,
far.
they are
And we
wonderful.
definitely don't want the public thinking that we're not happy with the sheriff's office or the
That's right.
Richmond Police
No,
or the
not at
Bridge.
all.
That is not the case.
Yes. It's all been very positive.
Very positive. Yeah.
We hope.
Well, the big thing is we'll have someone in every school or campus.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Do we have any other questions? All right, may I get a motion to create and ratify a chief of police position and approve the job description and salary schedule that we've all viewed? A motion by Ms. Brock. Do we have a second?
I'll say.
And a second by Mr. Rutherford. All those in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have our superintendent's report. Mr. Neely.
Okay, I'll be brief since the weather is breaking, we think, and then I looked at it's going to be cold next week. So
Monday, Tuesday.
calling for rain and snow
Monday,
Monday.
Tuesday.
Yeah. And that's because the middle schools and the high schools, all the spring sports start Monday, of course. But we're thrilled to kind of get back in a rhythm. We had our DLT this past Thursday with all of our principals. Everybody, I feel like everybody's in a good spot with, what did they say, 38 days? And that was on Thursday till state testing. That's incredible to me that it's almost over. And now we've set the graduation date, so it's almost over. So, time flies when you're having fun, and we're having a big time. But we're thrilled to get back in a routine, and that, we are down to the back end of the school setting. What I wanted to say, I wanted to bring up 3 schools today because we have made a huge initiative on school attendance. And the 3 schools that have shown growth every month through the 5 months of this beginning of the year is Silver Creek, Glen Marshall, and Madison Southern High School. They have continued to excel in their attendance. And that's something, especially for a high school, that's hard to do. And our attendance in February, I think Chris showed me, is 1% up from the previous years. And February is usually a rough month for us.
Right.
Sickness, Lord, everybody up here has been sick and their kids have been sick. But to be 1% ahead just in the month of February, I can't wait to see what we're going to be percentage-wise at the end of the year, because every principal and every teacher and all of our folks in all of our schools have made it a point to try to increase their attendance, to make sure that they're at school. And it led into what Ms. Carmichael talked about today, how important our Frisky folks are on saving 46 days with coming and checking out their teeth, and that's community partners that we've got, as you stated, 3 different groups. We're lucky as a county to have 3 groups that come to us and say, hey, can we help? Absolutely, you can help. Here's this day and here's that day, because we certainly don't want to turn any of that away. So those partnerships are fantastic. And I want to thank everybody that's been involved with that. Coat drives, shoe drives, all of that is helpful to keep our kids in school. That's my superintendent report.
That's wonderful. I'll say just a quick word about the attendance, since you're talking about attendance. We hear a lot about the only reason we care about attendance is because of the money. And while, yes, some of our state dollars are tied to our attendance, I can tell you that this district does not focus on attendance for the money. We focus on attendance for our students, for their betterment, their health, their social emotional, their welfare, their being able to eat, just the structure and learning and just giving them that culture. It is not about the dollar when it comes to focusing on attendance for us. So I'll say that piece. Anybody else have anything to say?
Well, you have to appreciate some of these principals that's gotten really creative on some areas. I've seen pies flying and
Yeah, that's right. They're trying. They're trying. Absolutely.
I've got to commend Mr. Neely and his whole team. When we came to them and just started talking about our own police force, they took the ball and ran, and it has been a tremendous amount of work. And with his leadership and the rest of the team, it's really nice to see our vision come to fruition for the betterment of the students and staff. And I'm so pleased and so proud of y'all. You've just really done a great job, and I'm anxious to see how it all comes together and how it benefits everybody. Good job.
I want to also say, I want to congratulate Miss Janie Winkler and Carrie Hall, our nursing, our head nurses and our nursing supervisors and all of our nurses. I attended, as did Mr. Neely and Mr. Clark and Mr. Ray. Last week, they received, our district received a Heart Safe School designation from the Project Adam, which is something out of UK Healthcare. And basically what that means is we have been recognized as one of the very few districts in this state that has a cardiac team in every building. So we have cardiac teams trained in every one of our buildings. We have AED machines in every one of our buildings, and these teams know how to respond if we have an emergency. So I know Miss Janie and Carrie have worked very, very hard with our nursing staff, with our principals in our buildings to do that training, put those teams together. And they really deserve a lot of recognition for all the hard work that they've put into that. And that's just, again, another safety thing that we're trying to do for our students and staff. We hear horror stories about things that happen in other districts and in other schools. Nobody knows, there is no AED machine. Nobody knows how to use it. And, you have really bad outcomes. So I'm really, really proud of these ladies for all the hard work they've done. So I just wanted to give them a rah-rah for that. Anybody else?
Just remember AED, turn it on, it'll tell you what to do.
Mhm.
It's literally that simple.
Yep.
Turn it on and it will tell you what
The
to do.
key is that it comes on.
Yeah, key is it turns on. Well, they did a demonstration on, if someone happens to have an emergency situation, and I was highly impressed at how coordinated it was. And I know if anything ever like that happened to me, I hope I'm in one of those buildings
Yeah.
because they really know what they're doing.
And
So
that group was thrilled because we were the biggest district
yes,
that's got this designation. So.
yeah, and there are very few of them. So kudos to them. All right, may I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Brock. Do we have a second?
Second.
And a second by Ms. Burford. All those in favor? Thank you all, and we are adjourned.